Target locked and destroy. Come on. Got it? Got it. Sorry for the language, but this job isn't for princesses. What you're watching is an epic system in action, a classic of Soviet engineering. But we get really upset when we can't engage a target, either because the system isn't perfect or the target's parameters are too tricky. Yes, Ukraine still uses the S-300 surface-to-air missile systems, known by their NATO reporting name, SA-10 Grumble. There's a myth that the name came from the grumbling noise the S-300 radar supposedly makes during operation. But nope, just a nice-sounding legend. NATO uses an alphabetic system. The letter G is assigned to Soviet SAM systems. The S-300 was developed in the Soviet Union back in the 1970s. And yeah, that's a problem. My hands literally shake with frustration when I realize we might miss a missile. Still, the S-300 remains the backbone of Ukraine's long and medium-range air defense, and Ukrainians were the first ever to use this system in real combat. Another one, 6th missile inbound. Despite its old Soviet roots, the S-300 has proven incredibly effective against Russian missiles, aircraft, and drones. When we shot down 6 missiles in one go, that was something else. No one expected that from us. Not even us. Ukraine had a significant stockpile of S-300 missiles. Some were also provided by international partners. Our unit alone has taken down over 50 airborne targets, including 46 cruise missiles like the KH-555, KH-101, Caliber, and various drones. But after 3.5 years of war, we finally understand what the S-300 can really do. The top secret label? Gone. The first problems showed up in the opening minutes of the war, mostly with missile quality. First, Ukraine mostly had missiles with a maximum range of 75 kilometers, even though S-300s can launch longer-range variants. Second, these missiles were past their shelf life. Even in ideal conditions, their lifespan is about 10 to 15 years. After that, technically no longer combat ready, and Ukraine doesn't manufacture S-300 missiles. To get one combat ready again, you need a full regeneration process. Not just an inspection, we're talking deep-level overhaul and upgrade. That's like turning Donald Trump into the Pope. A standard SAM missile has thousands of components: electronics, motors, fuel tanks, casing, fuses, guidance systems. Any one of them can degrade and has to be fixed. Then there's the guidance unit and launch container, not simple parts. The missile is stored in a sealed launch tube. If anything's faulty, it could blow up right inside the tube. Basically, every S-300 missile left after the fall of the Soviet Union should have been scrapped. But Ukrainians solved the upgrade problem, and now those missiles fly. Our unit was the first among all S-300 divisions to go into combat. We launched 10 missiles and shot down 5 targets on day 1. And don't forget, Russians don't launch 1 or 2 missiles at a time. It's usually 36 plus of various types, plus multiple drone variants. They launch them from different directions, mix and match. Drones, ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, to confuse Ukrainian air defense and make them harder to intercept. When we were being trained, the book said we should hit 30% of targets, but we're hitting 60 to 70%. That's insane. Now, if you've seen our videos about IRIS-T, NASAMS, or Patriot, you know that the S-300 doesn't quite match Western systems, but Ukrainian crews are outperforming its official specs. So how's that possible? Before we break it down, please subscribe to our channel. It helps YouTube recommend this video to more viewers. Okay, so first, Ukraine souped up its S-300s like rednecks tricking out a 70s Chevy. Second, Ukrainians gained real combat experience, the kind no other military in the world has, not even the Israeli one. But let's go step by step. Ukraine integrated its S-300s into the Delta Battlefield Network, a command system that gives air defense commanders live data from UAVs, radars, satellites, and NATO platforms. As a result, S-300s now operate in a shared information space, which dramatically improves their battlefield efficiency. The Delta system also consolidates data from AWACS aircraft, those flying radar planes constantly patrolling along Ukraine's western borders. Thanks to this, Ukrainian air defense units receive real-time coordinates for incoming aircraft, drones, and missiles. This allows Ukrainian S-300s to strike from ambush without even turning on their radars. Their effectiveness is also boosted by integrating the S-300s into layered air defense networks alongside NASAMS, IRIS-T, and Patriot systems. But here's the really interesting part, the tactics used by S-300 operators. Ukrainians are very likely using manual targeting mode, which this system does allow. Success depends on the crew, soldiers, sergeants, officers. The S-300 is a team weapon. It relies on the diesel mechanic who powers it up on time, the shift commander who quickly boots up the control cabin. Every single role matters. What a humble guy. But he's right, it's all about teamwork. Hit that like button if you agree. And hey, your like tells the YouTube algorithm that humans still matter in this world. Here's what interception actually looks like. At the start of the combat op, we don't know how many targets are coming at us. This isn't some Netflix thriller, it's their daily grind. Once an airborne target is detected, the launch officer sets the azimuth, the direction to fire, and preps the missiles for launch. Then the targeting officer measures the range and speed of the incoming object. Once it's locked, it's on the hook. While all that's going on, other crew members track coordinates and flight angles. Because the sky's like rush hour traffic, targets are everywhere. You have to pick your lane. Once the missile's fired, all you can do is watch the screen to see if you got a hit. And that's the job, day in, day out. Think it gets boring? Each engagement is different, but also the same. It's hard to describe. It's kind of like surgery, especially when we're talking ballistic targets. Yep, Ukraine has the S-300 V1 modification, which was designed to counter ballistic missiles. You can spot it by its tracked chassis, its NATO reporting name, SA-12 Giant. But here's the catch. Ukraine has very few S-300 V1 systems. Only one confirmed unit has been seen online. Most of Ukraine's systems are older S-300 PS or PT variants, which can't really handle ballistic missiles, mostly due to limited onboard computers. Also, the missiles Ukraine uses carry a 130-kilogram fragmentation warhead. That means they don't hit targets directly. They explode nearby, showering the target with shrapnel to damage engines or the body. That's fine for aircraft, drones, or cruise missiles, but with ballistic missiles, things get tricky. Shrapnel damage isn't enough to destroy a ballistic missile mid-air. The only real solution to Russia's ballistic threats is the American Patriot system with PAC-3 missiles, which use kinetic hit-to-kill interceptors. But ballistic missiles aren't the only tough target for the S-300. Here's something wild. S-300 missiles can't hit stationary targets. Wait, what? Stationary targets? In the air? Sounds dumb, right? Well, here's the deal. We're talking helicopters that can hover in place. If an S-300 missile gets close while the chopper's just hovering, it won't lock on, and the missile might self-destruct, since it's programmed to hit moving targets. That's why what you're seeing now is super rare footage. A Ukrainian S-300 took down not just any chopper, but a K-52 Alligator, a high-tech Russian attack helicopter that had been hammering Ukrainian positions for days. But the S-300 isn't always the smartest hunter in the field. Sometimes Ukrainian air defense units have to get creative with the game they're hunting. Here's what an S-300 fire position looks like from a recon satellite. And from bird's eye view, same deal. And here's what it looks like when a battle doesn't go your way. These guys were supposed to be dead in the first few days of the war. Russia launched 900 missiles in just 2 weeks to wipe them out. And yeah, the Russians knew where they were. It was no secret. But then, on day one of the war, we were already at our backup position, full combat readiness. Our original position was near one of the airfields, but when Russian missiles hit it, we were long gone. To survive, Ukrainian air defense forces pulled off a smart move. They relocated to alternate sites. You've probably heard about this move. But moving out is easier said than done. A single S-300 division is like a mobile fortress on wheels. Each division includes 4 to 12 launch vehicles, and those are just the shooters. But firing is only half the job. Every launcher needs a special reloading truck because, surprise, rockets don't grow back inside empty tubes. Each division also has 2 radar units on truck platforms. One is the main radar that tracks targets and guides missiles. The second is an additional radar with a tower for better view. It spots low-flying threats like cruise missiles or Shaheads. But wait, there's more. Need power in the middle of nowhere? Generators. Need fuel? Tanker trucks. Something breaks? Repair trucks. Someone's hungry? There's a kitchen. This town on wheels even has its own security patrol. That's why an S-300 division rolls with dozens of large, old, and super slow vehicles. Trying to hide that convoy is like throwing a secret Metallica concert in your backyard. People will find out, even if you don't invite anyone. We've already switched more than 10 positions. The unit has operated in multiple cities and towns across Ukraine. This commander, he's not just a military guy. He's the logistics chief, head chef, security director, and electrician all in one. Basically, a genius. Feeding 90 troops, fueling all vehicles, charging the launchers, finding targets, and actually hitting them. But the reward? Totally worth it. It's like being in a stadium when your team scores. Pure euphoria when you shoot down a missile or a plane or a helicopter or a drone. So far, Ukraine's winning this cat and mouse game. S-300 is still the backbone of the country's air defense system. but this might be its swan song because missile stocks are running low. Still, S-300 isn't the only Soviet-era system protecting Ukrainian cities. Ever heard of the Buk? Drop a comment if we should make a video about this equally legendary system or suggest your own topic for the next one. Thanks for watching.